Hi, it's Paul from HobbyLink International. Don't forget to click the buttons down there to get notified of future videos from myself and Kenny, and also click the bell so you get notified of them. Today we're going to have a quick look in the box of the new kit from VeryFire. This is their 1/350th USS Cleveland. Okay, so let's see what we'll just get inside the box. So this is the 1/350th USS Cleveland. Side here, 3D render, a bit of background, and side. Basically a colour painting guide, paints used, description of VeryFire paints, so maybe they're bringing their own range of paints out. Victorium and Mr. Hobby. Okay, so let's have a look. See. So there's the two hull halves, and that's the photo etch sheet that comes with the kit. And then everything else is bagged in there. Let's just take this off. Okay, so that's a bit of a battle. There's plating on the side, vents, inlet and outlets on the bottom of the hull by the looks of it as well. There's obviously going to be, these holes are for support parts that go across to give the hull some strength. That's the only photo etch that comes with the kit. The railings are basically for the superstructure in the middle. There's no railings for the extreme edge of the ship, plus some other small parts as well. Now, as for these parts, they've been bagged separately. There's a turret come loose. It's the decal sheet. Looks like the only numbers there for the Cleveland. And that's the parts. They're in, this is like polythene rather than just a plastic bag. So I'll open some of these and have a look-see. Okay, let's look at some of the parts in no particular order. Everything's in, like I said, polythene bags, and the bags are stapled shut. That's one of the aircraft. There's 2 frets of those, so 2 aircraft that come with those. Not seeing how they go together as regards the clear parts yet, but I'm sure that'll be in the instructions. Life rafts, ship's boats, and other small parts. Again, very nicely detailed. Those nice small parts, small attachment points. Usually there's small parts as well. When it comes to, I think some of these sprues, there's 2 sprues in one bag. Some of them, whether you get 4 sprues, they've bagged them separately, so there's 2 bags of 2 sprues each. That looks like the ship's, the catapult there, and parts of the superstructure coming in. There's the main part of the superstructure. I can see there's detail on the side. Actually, when you look at it edge on, it looks slightly warped on it, but nothing that we'll be able to deal with. There's nice detail on there. There's the turrets I was talking about. I'll have a close-up look at some of those in a bit. There's the bottom of the turret. Ship's propellers, they look very nice. There's the deck, forward and aft, 2 parts. See its planking detail, there's detail at the front as well, and at the aft. Looks quite nice. Get into superstructure parts. There's the decks, and there's some superstructure sides there, and the bridge. And very nicely detailed. And so we got two of these sprues. There's a radar dish there. If you get there'll be a detailed set coming out for this, and I'm no doubt that'll get replaced by photo etch, along with quite a lot of other parts. There's, I think, just shy of 1,000 parts of plastic in this kit. That's all quite nice. So let's have a close-up look at some of the parts and a quick flick through some parts of the instructions. USS Cleveland was the first of a class of 27 10,000-ton light cruisers. Commissioned in June 42, in November of that year she took part in the North African invasion and then transferred to the South Pacific War Zone and saw action from January 1943 onwards. She took part in various of the island hopping campaigns, bombarding islands and the like, and also being involved in the anti-aircraft defence of the fleet. Following Japan's surrender, she participated in the recovery of Allied prisoners of war, returning to the United States in the last part of 1945. Eventually she was decommissioned in February 1946 and scrapped in February 1960. There's not been much done in 1/350th for USS Cleveland before. All I'm seeing is a couple of other Cleveland class ships in resin from Iron Shipwrights in the 90s. The only thing that is VeryFire are going to release a detailed set for the Cleveland soon. The box is a standard top opening box, but it's made from, looks like thin corrugated cardboard, so it's pretty tough. Things inside the box are bagged in polythene, not the usual plastic. Everything's well protected. The box contains 24 sprues of varying sizes with about 980 plastic parts, plus 5 larger plastic parts. There's a PE sheet with about 77 parts, small decal sheet, an anchor chain. Instructions are in 20 pages of black and white text and images, and there's a glossy colour sheet with the painting guide. The build is in 54 steps over 16 of the pages. The steps are not actually numbered, they're sort of basically on each page, but shouldn't present any problems. I'm not going to go through all the steps in the build, but we'll start off with have a look at the hull. The hull comes in 2 halves, there's support pieces in between. The deck comes in 2 parts as well. You have some holes to drill in it before you put the deck in place. There isn't a waterline option, full hull only. Next up we'll have a look at a few of the small parts that get put together. The photo etch parts, so I did off sprue M or fret M, so that's how they are identified in the build. But there's quite a lot of nice detail in the plastic to start with. Next we'll have a look at one of the bigger parts in plastic, the lower superstructure. Basically it follows the same sort of build pattern as used in the Salem. You build the hull and then the lower superstructure, and you keep adding things onto the central superstructure, and you add that together at the end. Slowly work your way upwards, doing one layer at a time. Okay, this page we're looking at the funnel, or the funnels. They're 2-part funnels with some extra pieces going onto them, and they go onto their particular deck of the superstructure. You can basically build the superstructure, all these different decks separately, and then bring them all together at the end. And as I mentioned, here's the page where most of the superstructure all comes together. The various parts, for the most part, go together here. And here we have the last couple of pages, just some small details going on. As you can see, the superstructure goes on in one fell swoop. The railings are only on the superstructure, there's no railings around the edge of the hull. You can source those separately, or they'll definitely be part of the detail upset that comes out. They'll also, I'm pretty sure, bring out a deluxe version of this kit as well. And the last bit that go on is the crane and the ships, and those are made out of plastic in this kit, but they'll be photo etched in the deluxe kit and in the detail upset. So the painting guide is in full colour glossy paper, one-sided. Colours are called out in Mr. Hobby Victorium, and also interestingly VeryFire, so I'm wondering if they're going to be bringing out a range of their own paints to match everything. Also there's descriptions on a colour swatch as well. Blue decks, basically pretty straightforward painting guide, and a small decal sheet with decals for the ship and the aircraft. So final conclusion, if you want a 1350th Cleveland, then this is pretty much the only way you're going to go unless you dig out an expensive resin kit from the 90s, which will probably be more work and less detail. Nice level of detail on the kit itself, and a sister ship has already come out, USS Birmingham as well. So all in all, very nice kit, fills a niche in the market.